You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Supernatural Chat Show with your host, Sean Cadman, only on Parasearch Radio.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to the Supernatural Chat Show with me, your host, Sean Cadman. Well, tonight's guest, we met this guy last year at Paraforce UK, and all I can say simply is he's a fantastic guy. He had everybody in stitches, crying with tears. He's absolutely brilliant, and I'm sure tonight's going to be really good. I'd just like to welcome Joe Chin. Are you there, Joe?
Yes, I am here. Hi, everybody.
Good evening. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. Expecting a snowstorm, though.
Oh, we've just had ours. It's just started melting. It's mainly gone now, but they forecast more. So, not ever keen on the snow.
No, not really. The older I get.
It's nice when we're kids, but as you get older, not so good. Not so good.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to recently? Have you looked at anything?
I'm just busy with the local cases. I belong to two groups, and we have some cases that have been coming up every weekend, and trying to book events and things like that. So keeping busy.
That's good. Busy's always good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously most people know you from GHI.
Yeah.
What originally got you involved with GHI? How did you get onto the series? Did they approach you, or?
Well, actually, going way back when I was a teenager, we lived in a house that seemed to have activity. And being of Asian descent, we were told to not pay attention to it. So that kind of put the setting for the paranormal in my life. It wasn't until I worked in a retail store selling computers that I ran into Jason and Taps and became friends. And then he asked me if I wanted to become an investigator for the team first. I did that for about a year. And then the following year later, he approached me to be an extra on the show. And I said yes.
Yeah. Don't blame you. Perfect opportunity.
It was totally new. I didn't know people looked for paranormal things at all. It was totally a surprise for me.
Well, I mean, yeah, I suppose with, like you say, your Asian background, it's not a sort of a much talked about thing.
Well, it is. It's superstitious, and they say that you shouldn't talk to it because then you'll invite more things into your paranormal world, I guess.
Yes, I mean, like I say, I'm trying to think if there's any more. I think you're probably the only Asian descent investigator that's on TV or been on TV I can think of.
Actually, I think there was one more. I forget his name, but I did work with one Asian guy. I can't remember his name, though. Daniel Hooven.
No, I've not heard of him.
He was on a TV show for a short stint. I'm not sure.
Right.
No.
Was it, along with Barry, you've probably been on the most episodes? Am I right with that one?
I would say Barry has been the longest, and I've been there since 2008, I want to say, or 2009.
Well, so quite a while. Good little stint.
Yes, it was. Time of my life.
I can imagine. If they started up again, if GHI got offered, was it Pilgrim, the station that was doing it?
Yes.
If they offered another show, would you jump at a chance to do it again?
Only if I had better control of my contract, maybe.
So, not that good contracts, though.
They had a lot of, I didn't know that. Oh, what? Surprises.
Yeah, I think people see like yourselves and the other members of the team. They think, "Oh, you're on telly, you must be making a fortune." That's it. You sort of. It's not like that, is it? Really?
No, it was quite the opposite. I mean, you got a little bit of money, but just enough to tease you and get
Yeah, dangle a carrot sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of all the places that you went to, where was your favourite and why?
Actually, there were quite a few. Towards the end seemed to be the most vigorous or active, because by then it was kind of like a paranormal / expedition out in the wilderness and other countries. But Belize was one. I liked Tasmania. There was American Samoa that I liked. A couple of islands that we went to that had some activity and very strange happenings going on there. So there are quite a few.
Did they ever ask you to fake anything while you was on the show? Or was it just...
No. Actually, they wanted us to be more elaborative and I guess colorful when we were delivering our lines.
Yeah.
They wanted us to develop personalities at one point, and we were like, "What? What do you mean?" He said we thought this was a reality show. They were like, "Yeah, but we want you to be more of this and more of that." And we were like, "No, this is who we are. This is reality show, and if you're looking for that kind of a show, maybe you should recast it." And we all stuck together on this because they said they're making them do strange things that they normally wouldn't do for personality. So we were like, no, this is who we are. You either take it as it is or look for somebody else.
I think that, from personally speaking, I think that's what made GHI so watchable, was that there was no acting as such in it. You was all yourselves and your own people. And I don't think you needed to create characters. Everybody got their own character anyway, which was themselves. And I think that's why it worked so well.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought we mixed pretty well towards the end. There was a few recasting issues that we had, but all in all, I enjoyed my stint with them.
That definitely came across in the program that everybody was gelled together, and you could tell that there was genuine friendships there as well, which always, I think, makes a program more watchable.
Yeah. I mean, because you're out there out in other countries, and you're only out there as a small group, and you got to kind of watch out for each other, and that you're supposed to be a team.
Was there anywhere that you went that anything happened that you think I won't go back there again?
Probably I have to think twice about going back to that place I was bitten. I was in the castle, Castle Dragsloam. And I got bit there, and that really took me by surprise. I didn't know that they could leave that kind of a mark on a person, whether it be, actual teeth marks, indentations. That kind of shook me.
But it didn't. I think that'd shake most people, that one.
Yeah.
Was there anywhere that you didn't get to go that you'd have liked to have gone?
Actually, yeah. At one point, we were supposed to go to Egypt and go look at the some of the pyramid things. And just before we were supposed to fly out, it got canceled because of bombings.
Oh, wow.
So that would have been nice, yeah. And then there was another one. We were supposed to go to an island in Japan where supposedly the island got abandoned very quickly, and something crazy was going on in the island. And then that fell through. It didn't happen.
You never know. Chance might pop up again one day.
Exactly. I hope so, because the traveling was awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, did that take a toll, a lot of all the traveling that you was doing?
Not on me personally, because I was just so excited to be traveling the world, because I had never traveled anywhere before. and to be looking for the paranormal was kind of new for me still. I kind of want to find out what happens on the other side. So that was intriguing. And then trying to work with this production team and other teammates I was busy doing all of that. But I enjoyed my time thoroughly. There were a couple of members who didn't seem to enjoy their time overseas.
Well, I think 90% of people probably jump at the chance of doing something like that, but I suppose it's down to personal thing. If people don't like the travelling, then...
Yeah, well, I think for a couple of people, it was they had children left behind, so they're missing their kids growing up. A couple of were really close to their family and didn't deal with the stress of being away from their family. But
all in all, everybody enjoyed it. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few cast members. You might not be able to answer this one. There's quite a few cast member changes and things. Were any of them due to personal differences, or was it just people, like yourself, getting fed up because they've got the families and things?
It was a mixture. There was a few who had some personality conflicts with other cast members, and I think I don't know if it was jealousy or who had the most limelight. I didn't care. I was just happy to be on.
Definitely. Who were your favourite people to work alongside?
I guess my favorite would have to be Barry Fitzgerald for International. We clicked immediately. The first day we met, I'm like, this guy is going to be my friend. And secondly, I would say probably Bradford. Took a little bit of getting used to, but then I did.
Yeah. Well, last time I met with Barry, bless him, is so easy to get on with. Such a great personality and friendliness to him. He's the first time we met him at the first Paraforce, he was just so open and just like any guy you'd meet in the street. It was fantastic. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah. The first time I met him was on an episode for Ghost Hunters, where they were having Barry as the Irish liaison, and he came to America, and that's how I met Barry at that point.
Is there anybody in the paranormal field that you'd like to work with that you haven't had a chance to?
There were quite a few. I've worked with John Zaffis. I've worked with other paranormal investigators, Josh Gates. I liked working with Grant Wilson. Grant was great. Of course, I learned from Steve and Tango tech-wise.
Yeah.
But let's see. Amy Allen is very interesting. I'd like to be on a case with her as she does her thing because I find it very interesting.
Yeah. One question that I've been asked a lot about yourself is on a lot of the Ghost Hunts International episodes, when you're using your camcorder, you seem to look through the eyepiece and not look at the viewfinder. Is that to do with night vision? Keeping your night vision, or?
Yeah, because sometimes they didn't want us to use flashlights, so all we had was the view screen to look at to find your way through a building.
Yeah,
and your way about.
I know that it's not the easiest thing in the world.
No, I was always with the flashlight. They were like, "Turn your flashlight off." I'm like, "I can't see. Use your viewfinder."
Sarah Coulthard Keynes just put in the chat room, loved the joint presentation with Barry and Joe at Paraforce last year.
Thank you.
I think everybody did. You had the whole room in stitches between you on that one. That was brilliant.
It was a great time.
Go back. What's the funniest experience that you had while she was with GHI?
There were many behind-the-scenes footage of Barry playing practical jokes and other production people playing jokes on each other. It was always a laugh, and you always had to watch where you slept, how you slept.
So I was talking about Paraforce. I mean, obviously you attended Paraforce last year. What's the sort of difference between what you've experienced, and you've only been once, but what you've experienced in the UK convention and the US conventions?
Probably the amount of people, because I think here in the States we tend to overbook the investigations. Be too many, and some people arrive, knackered, a little bit tipsy during investigations. That part I didn't like.
No, that's not good. That's not good.
No.
Is it? Do they have the sort of the same format and everything else? Is it? Or they run similar?
I think they run pretty similar.
So we're not doing a bad job then.
Oh no, you're doing great. I had, like I said before, many thanks. I had a wonderful time. It was awesome.
I say it was a pleasure having you. Looking forward to it again this year. It's what was your best experience last year at Paraforce?
When I was sitting with the guy with the painting, John.
John Blackburn. Yeah.
John Blackburn. I was interested to see what he had to share with us, and something in that room when he was talking about that painting, and when he pulled that canvas off the painting, I got hit with a wave of some kind of weird energy. It went right through me, and that's when I had to leave because I started to bawl uncontrollable.
Wow, it's crazy. I mean, I've investigated with him a couple of times that painting, and there's definitely something strange with that. Definitely, it
was weird. I had to compose myself and try to wipe the tears. I'm like, what was that emotion? It was strong. It hit me.
Yeah, it's definitely. He's back again this year.
I heard.
So, yeah, he'll be getting another chance with the painting this year. I'm trying to think, when our first Paraforce obviously did come was at the Galleries of Justice. What was your experience at the Galleries of Justice when you investigated that one with GHI in Nottingham?
I don't know if I was on that one.
Just trying to think. I can remember. Why not? But where have you investigated in the UK? Have you done any?
We did lots of castles, and we did. They escape me. It's been so long ago, and I can't keep track. But I remember a lot of castles.
There's definitely quite a few castles over here. We've got lots and lots of them. Which is your favourite country you've been to up to now?
Favorite country? Let's see. I really enjoyed Tasmania. I enjoyed the Philippines. That was very interesting. Very hot, very crowded.
Sarah Cawthorne Keynes asked, did you investigate the ancient Ram Inn?
Where's that?
That's in England. It was. It's like an old inn, and a little old guy that used to run it.
No, I don't think so.
So that's supposed to be an incredible venue, that one. Going on to tech-wise, what's your thoughts on all the latest tech that's on the market these days? Is it something you like to look at, or do you just like to stick to your normal investigating tools?
For me, I think I'm kind of old school. I like to stick with just a recorder and perhaps a night vision camera. I like all the gadgets, and I'm interested in if they do produce results. We seem to have some good results from it, but nothing is made specifically for ghost hunting. It's all tools that have been repurposed for what we do in our everyday lives.
Yeah.
But I am interested because it does seem to attract activity, and I like to watch it further, see if it develops into something great.
So I'm the same. I like my old school, just my basic things. But these, like you say, keep an eye on these tech things to see if anything does come of them.
Yeah, when we do events and people bring lots of tech, I think that takes away from it. You're setting time up, trying to guess what it's trying to do. You're trying to remember what this button does. You're trying to remember what that does. And then by the time you know it, the investigation's over. So I'd rather sit, observe, and put your feelers out there in the dark.
Yeah. Well, we found that when we go on investigations, we used to that much stuff. It used to take you an hour and a half to get everything out of your kit bags and set it all up.
Yes.
And then you got to put it all away again at the end of the night. I'm thinking, I'm wasting time. I could be out investigating instead of getting all this stuff ready.
Yeah. And you walk around jingling, trying not to make so much stuff.
Try to remember which pocket you put which piece of equipment in.
Yeah.
Do you think that we will ever get indisputable, undeniable proof of the paranormal?
I'd like to think so, but I don't know. I mean, how do you capture a spirit when it's made out of energy? what can trap energy? It's going to be something, but it must take enormous power.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever seen a film called Stormhouse?
No.
Apparently, it's based on a true story where some military installation in the States has actually got a ghost trapped. They've built a big cage and they're running power around this cage continuously to trap this entity inside of it. And I just wonder if anything like that ever be possible. Have you got any thoughts on anything like that? Whether it would work?
Because technology changes exponentially, and we're always finding new ways and trying to dive into the metaphysics, and maybe you can create such like a force field to encase an entity. I remember seeing a movie called The Entity way back when I was younger, and that's what they were doing. They were trying to catch the ghost in some kind of ice room and try to freeze it. And when I saw that movie, I said, wow, I wonder if something like that would work. But
makes you wonder the way technology is advancing, how long it'll be before they can actually come up with something that can hold energy.
Yeah. Without being harmful to the human body.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. Your backpacks.
You can imagine them coming up with something that's going to end up electrocuting somebody. And
yeah, right? Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, that's it. When you was filming with GHI, was there any places that you investigated and you filmed and absolutely nothing happened and they just got binned? Or was everywhere you filmed aired?
Well, no. We had one trip to Singapore. We were flying out to Singapore, and that was a long trip. And when we finally get to Singapore, the customs held up our equipment for like 4 days. So we were like, what's going on? It's been 4 days. Are we going to do anything? And then finally, when they released our equipment, the production team went to the site to see if it was still viable for the investigation. And when they got there, it was just a shell of a brick wall. And they were like, oh, that's it. We're done. We're leaving. We were like, what? We didn't do anything yet.
Back on the plane. Off we go again.
Back on the plane. But it was a 5-6 day vacation for us.
Was it all sort of filmed one after another, or did you get good breaks in between?
When we fly out as a group, we would fly out for like 5 weeks.
Wow.
And potentially every week we could be in a different country, because it took like 2 weeks to film one episode, because it's an hour long. So each half-hour case was filmed in other countries. So it was potentially 4 countries we would go to.
Wow. Surprised you didn't all suffer from jet lag.
Yeah, we did. We have to have some downtime. And they were like, well, I know it's going to be tough for you guys, but if you suck it up, I'll give you tomorrow off.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I suppose you had a lot of airplane food, really.
Yeah, a lot of terrible airplane food. And not to mention other countries and customs, eating guinea pigs and brains and feet and things like that. Ugh.
Oh, no, you just want a chicken sandwich or something.
No fresh vegetables. Be careful of fruit. Stick to bottles and cans when you're in other countries.
Good advice. Do you watch any of the other paranormal shows that are on TV?
Actually, I do, yeah. There are a couple. I like The Dead Files with Amy Allen and Steve DeShave.
Yeah.
I like that combination. I do watch Kindred Spirits from time to time. There's what's another one? I used to watch Ghostline. But not many. I watch other medium stuff. I like The Haunting of with Kim Russo.
Yeah.
Hollywood. Tyler Henry, the Hollywood Medium. I'm interested in those kind of shows too.
Yeah, I'm trying to. There's one, Haunting Evidence. Have you seen that one?
I think I might have seen a few episodes.
Yeah, I've got quite hooked on that one at the moment. Talking of mediums, what's your thought on mediums at the moment? Because there seems to be a proliferation. I don't know about in the States, but over here there's just a proliferation of mediums at the moment. It just seems to be popping out the woodwork.
Yeah. I have a lot of medium friends who I've made over the years. But when I first started and started getting into the meeting mediums, I didn't believe it. I thought it was all hokum
Yeah.
until I met this lady at an event for charity for dogs, and she was a medium, and she was the one that brought me over to the thinking, wow, there's going to be something to it, because she was a complete stranger. And at the end of the afternoon, she wanted to read my sister and I. She said, I have a couple of things I want to tell you. And here I am rolling my eyes. Here we go. Here's the spiel. But she started saying these things that she couldn't have known. Like she said, your father's asking me about, ask what's in his pocket. And I said, well, as a kid, I used to keep skipping stones in my pocket. And I skip stones. And she brought that up. I'm like, wow, that's weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose that's once the medium sort of hits on things that there's no way that they could possibly know.
Exactly.
Then you have to sort of sit back and think, okay, where'd that come from?
Yeah. And they say that everybody has that ability in them. It's just how it comes to surface, if it ever does.
Yeah. What's your views on the paranormal as a whole at the moment?
I think it's run a little rampant, and maybe it's due course. It seems to be on a downward spiral because everybody's been to just about every place in the United States and is getting rehashed over and over again.
Yeah. Do you think that's a good thing, that it seems to be on a bit of a downward spiral and people are sort of drifting away from it now, that it's going to give, to word it different, the serious investigators more chance now to do more at these venues, now they're not sort of packed every night of the week?
Yeah. I think from here out, the people who are fly-by-nights and just want to try it will slowly go away, and only the ones that are passionate about the paranormal will stick to it. And I think it's like a wave. It's ups and downs. Right now we're on the Darwin Spiral. I think everybody's been ghosted out, and maybe a little bit of time will pass where maybe new technology develops, and then we get better evidence or better equipment, and it'll be on the upward swing again. Hopefully, yeah, that's really good.
Evidence-wise, do you think that people sometimes talk themselves out of what potentially could be a good piece of evidence by over-debunking?
Yes. I think if you have to question something, then maybe you might not want to consider bringing that evidence forward. But if you get a great EVP, and you know for sure that nobody was in there, it was just the recorder itself, and how could it record that? I think there are good evidence out there, good EVPs, Class A's out there all the time.
I'm not sure in the States, but I know over here the people used to post their evidence all the time on Facebook, etc. They'd catch something on video or an EVP or a photograph, and they'd put it up, and then there were so many attacks on them for posting it, and some of the strangest ideas of debunking it that you could ever wish for. And people just seem to stop posting now. They don't put anything out.
Yeah. And it's scary because it may be something that this person actually has concrete evidence, but somebody who wasn't there is going to be skeptical. They're going to say, I wasn't there. I don't know if you faked it. I don't know if you did something to it. So there's always going to be a question of doubt, I think, when you post things.
I think sometimes skeptics can be over-skeptical.
Yes. As a whole, I think skeptics are good on a team to keep you grounded. Not every bang and bump is going to be a ghost.
Yes, definitely. How did you decide on the TV show what you'd put forward as evidence? Was there any sort of things that some members would go, well, I really think that's good, and others would say, no, it's not? And did it cause any issues?
Well, no, because before the investigation, they would pass out the mini DV tapes, and we would have ours. The 6 cast members would have their tapes, and we would not give those tapes back to production company until we reviewed it ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we would, as a team, the 6 of us would bring potential evidence forward, and then we would vote on it. We let everybody hear it, and if the majority rules they think it wasn't something, then we wouldn't put it through.
Yeah. So a group decision, really, on everything.
Yeah.
Kieran's, does it make your job harder in the paranormal when you get dodgy groups out there to explain things? I mean, so I think it means dodgy groups that try and debunk everything. Does it make it harder being a paranormal investigator when you've got people constantly slating things that are being put out?
Are you talking to me or Carrie?
Yourself. Sorry, that's Kieran. The guy's just asked a question.
Oh, sorry. Oh gosh, I did just went out of my head. Could you repeat?
Does it make your job harder in the paranormal when you get a dodgy group out there trying to explain things away all the time? Everything you put out, they're like, no, that's rubbish, sort of thing. Does it make it harder to be in the paranormal when you've got people doing that constantly?
Yeah. Belonging to two groups here, we are always running into clients that seem to call us in, and they said, we've had another group before, but we weren't happy with them. They wouldn't tell us what's going on, and they're doing these strange things in my house and not explaining it to me, and then at the end telling me that there's a demon in your house, and that's it. So sometimes we're out there trying to repair the damage that these dodgy groups do a half-assed job, and not try to put these people's mind at ease on what's in their house, instead of running and say, oh, we think you got a demon, but I'll see you.
Yeah, that's the same over here, actually. We're getting these teams going in, telling people all sorts of strange things. And one of the main things in the UK at the moment is everybody's sort of anti-demon, in the saying that the American shows of everything's demonic all the time when it isn't. What's your thoughts on that?
It's true. Every time we go to a place, it's like you see all these groups. Oh, they got a demon and everything's bad and it's cursed and you should leave. And I think it's crazy.
It seems to be overrunning the paranormal at the moment. The slightest bump and that's it's a demon throwing your teapot across the room.
Yeah.
Definitely gets a little bit strange. Yeah. When you do your private investigations with the groups that you're in over there, when you turn up at these locations, do people recognise you? Oh, you're Joe from GHI.
Well, actually, yeah, it just happened this past Saturday. We had a case, and when we pulled up to the driveway and we're all walking in the home, two people walking ahead of me. They're like, hi. I get to the person, hi, I'm Joe. And they like, I know you. Hi on TV.
Do you think that puts them at ease a little bit as well?
I think it might, and then I think it might hinder the investigation because they're so, I don't want to say enamored, but they're just too excited that I'm there and not really trying to get to the bottom of what's going on at their house.
Yeah, they just want to ask you questions all the time about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Make an interview. Am I here to interview or am I here to get to work? That's why I tell my manager not to tell people that I'm going, because in case they recognize the name.
Yeah, I can imagine it being quite difficult.
Yes. We have some people who call us for a case just because they think we're going to bring the television crew out.
All right, yeah. It's the most haunted building you've ever been to.
Yeah.
Do you see many of the old cast members much, or does everybody sort of drift off and do their own thing now?
I see Barry more than anybody. Barry, Paul, Susan, sometimes Scott, more than anybody else.
Yeah.
I'll run into Steve Gonzalez and Tango at events that I'm doing, sometimes with his father, and other events, but not much.
So, I suppose everybody's, I say they've drifted off and they've got their own things going off now.
Yeah.
Are a lot of them in other teams and do like you do on private investigations, or do they just concentrate on the lives now?
I think they're concentrating on their lives now because I seem to be, I don't want to say seem to be, but it seems like I was the only one who was on television and still active on television that does private investigations. Seems like all the TV people aren't into the private investigations anymore, especially for GH.
Yeah. It's sad, really, isn't it? You think that.
Yeah.
Have they still got the interest in the paranormal, or?
Yeah, because I'm still a part of Jason Hawes's home team. We're his original team. He doesn't come on investigations, but his daughter does. His daughter Sam will come on investigations with us every once in a while, but he very seldom will show up.
Was it a bit of a shock when GHI came to an end?
It was. For me, I loved it. I'm like, what do you mean it's over? They were like, well, they wanted to end the show on a high note when it was most popular. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. If we're popular, they should keep us on.
I agree. I mean, a lot of people that I've spoke to, it's the favourite paranormal program that's been on, because it was so honest. There was no, if nothing happened, you said nothing happened.
Yeah.
And everybody said, well, why is it finished? How come all these others are carrying on? They finished GHI, and I think everybody was gutted when it finished, really.
Yeah, I was sad. I was like, really? We're so popular in other countries, and why wouldn't you want to continue it? Somebody told me that maybe cost was a factor, that was too costly to produce the show. There were 17 of us going out there at a time. Yeah,
it's quite a big... They could have cut down all the production crew, couldn't they? Just sent you all out, just the team.
Right.
Sarah Coulthard's put in the chat room, relaunch like the Spice Girls.
Right? That'd be funny. I'd go again, gladly. They say, hey, we're thinking of bringing the guys back. Yes, I'll go.
Definitely. Have you ever thought of trying something, so that yourself and Barry and one or two of the others approaching production companies with ideas, or...
Yeah. We have been searching. We tried a couple of things that they said that they'll be in touch. So some things are in the works. And we just filmed something in the desert in Arizona about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And they're still hopeful that something will turn of it. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, I think it'd be brilliant to see you all back on the screens again. There's something that grabs your attention about GHI compared to a lot of the other shows.
I think because we were like the ragtag of the investigation, and we were all different backgrounds. You had all different kind of nationalities involved, and going overseas in other countries. I think, and the places we went to were amazing.
Yeah, I think that helped. All the different, like I said, the different locations around the world. And I think the dynamics of the team was definitely something that kept everybody watching.
Yeah. I really liked it towards the end. We seemed to get along the best, I thought, during GHI, was towards the latter portion of the years.
Definitely. If one of the other shows invited you on as a sort of a special guest for a couple of episodes, would you jump at that?
Yes.
Or is there any that you'd turn down?
I probably wouldn't do Ghost Brothers.
I've only ever seen little bits of theirs, but they're quite funny in parts.
I enjoy watching it, but I don't know if I would want to do the show.
I think you get some good laughs on there.
Oh, yeah. I like to hang out with them at events, but I don't know. I probably would if they asked.
You never know. If one of them was listening.
Right?
So, at the moment, I think, is it Ghost Hunters has finished as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, Ghost Hunters ended with their 12th season a couple of years ago. And I thought it was a long stint, 12 seasons.
So that's a long one, isn't it? That is.
Yeah.
Mind you, I think Ghost Adventures are on their 15th at the minute.
Probably.
Yeah, that's...
12, 34. Oh, yeah, I think about 15.
Yeah, I think GHI should have been on about that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I do too. Have you ever met those guys from Ghost Adventures?
Trying to get a hold of them for anything is... I think it'd be easier to find your way into one of the Great Pyramids, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a bit of a diva, I think, right?
Yeah, that's the general consensus that everybody seems to think the same. I think unless it benefits him mainly, then he won't do much. But we live in hope. We keep trying.
Yeah. It's sad though. You should just be yourself and low key and help out the field.
Definitely. I mean, that's what, to be honest, when it's like yourself and Barry and Paul, when Paul came over to do Paraforce on our first year, such great guys, all three of you. To me, I think there should be more people like you three in the paranormal that's been on TV. That, at the end of the day, fantastic people. You're great to meet, great to chat to, and I don't understand why people have the hierarchy sort of attitude these days.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So if this year's Paraforce, have you got anything in mind that you're going to talk about? Anything that you can let everybody and listeners know what you'll be doing while you're there?
You know, I'm trying to think of something, so it's going to take me a bit to work on it. I'd like to do something, but I don't consider myself an expert. I'm not like this expert researcher or anything like that. But I do want to come up with something.
Pin-up guy, though. You won the pin-up guy.
That I could. I got the award for it, too.
You never know. You might retain your title. You never know. See what happens. So, this is obviously it's a different venue this year. We're at Village Church Farm, which is an amazing venue. What did you enjoy about last year's investigation on the Saturday night? Was there anything that stuck out on that investigation?
What stuck out was the painting. That stuck out the most to me. And then something's coming up on the screen here.
Yeah, it's a message for me off Kerry to announce something.
The upstairs barn we went to just above where he had the painting, I think.
Oh, yeah.
There was something in there that was catching my attention. And just walking the grounds on my own, I was picking up on a few things that I think may be there.
There's definitely an active place, that was. There's a lot of people reporting all sorts of stuff going off while I was doing that investigation.
Yeah, for sure.
What are you looking forward to this year?
What am I looking forward to this year?
Yes, yeah. What you look, not just Paraforce. What else have you got coming up that you're doing this year?
I'm going to Little Traverse Bay in Michigan. I'm doing one of their events over there. I'm going to Ashmore Estates in Missouri. And then in June or July, we have our Rise Up teams having their Ocean State Paracon in our state. So there's a few things coming up.
Nice and busy then.
Yes.
Plenty coming up. So what's your favourite thing about being involved in the paranormal?
You know, I like all of it. I like doing the investigation. I like trying to catch, running around in the abandoned places and trying to catch activity. I like working with a team. I like meeting the fans when we do events. I'm a people person. I gravitate towards anybody who want to talk to me.
That's definitely helps with conventions and things.
Yeah. And you make some good contacts. You know, you talk to other groups and they might have an idea that I didn't think of. And sometimes you implement your ideas that you get when you visit other teams and places.
Yeah. That's it. It's good to network, like I say, get to know other teams and other people, and you learn new ideas, and it all helps, I think, to make a rounded investigator. Yeah.
And I noticed that sometimes in the community, there seems to be talk about some kind of awakening with spirits and mediums and mediumship. There seems to be something going on where it seems to be a build-up. That's what I feel. I think I'm an empath, and I feel some kind of big thing coming. I just don't know what, but I do feel something.
That'd be good. I mean, I feel that the energy seems to be building.
Yes.
What it's heading for is going to be interesting, but there's definitely seems to be an energy build-up all over at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's talking about this awakening that's going to happen, and I don't know if it's psychosomatic, but I feel it.
I'm feeling it's good. It gets you prepared for it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just got a quick announcement to make. Obviously, after this show, we've got Haunted Histories with Penny. So if you refresh your browser when we finish, you'll be able to listen to Penny. And also, there's a competition we've got running with Haunted Histories. They've liaised with Fright Nights of London, and they've offered 2 tickets for an investigation at Fort Horsted on the 17th to Parasearch Radio listeners. So check that out. Check out the competition. I think it is details on the Parasearch Radio page, and you have a chance to win 2 tickets to Fort Horsted on the 17th. Right? Did you investigate Fort Horsted? Was one of the places you went to, Joe, or didn't you get to that one?
Over the UK?
Yes, yeah, it's one of the UK.
No, I don't think so. I'm sorry that I don't remember all the places.
There's that many. I understand. There's that many. I'm trying to think of the castles. Castle Rising. Was you on that one with Uncle Norm?
Yes, we did Castle Rising. Where we had this light anomaly in the basement, where he was sitting in the room, and then towards the left side of him, or the right side of him, were these light lines and things going through. And we tried to debunk it. We were like, well, there's no way these lights can bounce off the wall and go zigzag. That was a cool piece of evidence.
I can remember seeing that one, and that light anomaly was definitely different. We did Castle Rising a while ago, and it was one of the guys from one of the other teams there. He went outside for a cigarette on his own, sat just outside the main entrance, and a couple of minutes later I went down. He was as white as a sheet. And apparently been sat there, and while he's sat there, he says, I thought, oh, this ghost hunting, it's a load of rubbish. He says, there's nothing to it. He says, looked up, and like 4 feet in front of him was a woman stood there, all dressed in white, and then just faded off as he looked at her.
Wow.
He soon changed his mind back again, like, I quite like this ghost hunting.
See, for me, I've never seen a full-bodied apparition. I've seen parts. I've seen the top, the bottom, the heads, hands, arms, but I've never seen the whole apparition.
It's one of them, the holy grail, isn't it, of ghost hunting? It's what we all want to see.
Yeah.
What's the best evidence that you personally have seen or caught?
Again, it probably was with the mini DV. Some shadow that was down at the end of the hallway that was clearly peeking out. You can see an outline of a person. But I get, when we're going to do investigations, I get a lot of EVPs, whether it's a camcorder, whether it's the audio piece, or whether I hear with my ears. I get a lot of audio.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favourites is EVPs. I tend to be able to get a lot of EVPs.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that you can't really fake an EVP.
No, especially if it's clear, and it's, let's say you catch a woman and there's only 2 guys there, so you're like, well, there's only been 2 guys there. Where's his voice coming from?
Or the empty room where you leave your voice recorder running and end up getting something. I think they're pretty good ones as well.
Those are awesome. Those are great.
Is there any places that, you mentioned Egypt, is there any places in the States that you'd like to investigate that you haven't had a chance to?
Yeah, actually, in the United States, I've never been to the Stanley Hotel.
Oh, right, yeah.
I've never been there. There's a couple of jails in the United States that I haven't been to. I've been to Eastern State. I've been to Fort William Henry. But I would love to go to Greece.
Oh, yeah.
I like to go to Greece, but
just for a holiday.
Well, no, investigation. I like to do an investigation over there.
Where's the? Well, you mentioned earlier on that you got bit at a lake, but where's the scariest location that you've been on the most active?
Hamlet's Castle was pretty active in Denmark. I think it's called Kronborg Castle.
Yeah.
We had a lot of activity there, and going down in that maze in the basement tunnels was pretty unnerving.
I don't fancy tunnels. I might say I don't fancy tunnels. I'd love to be able to go in the Paris in the catacombs underneath there.
Oh, we did. We went.
What did you think to that? What was that like?
Well, we couldn't go to the underground where they had all those bones. There were a different set of tunnels that we investigated in the catacombs. It was very bizarre. You get on there and you're in the you stay down 300 feet, and when you're looking with your eyes, everything looks like a green haze, even though you're not.
Ooh, strange.
Yeah, it was pretty strange. They had some fluorescent lights, but even with those fluorescent lights, everything looked green, like you're looking through night vision.
Oh, but that was strange.
It was pretty strange.
Like having night vision eyeballs. Was it active down there? Did you get much?
We kept hearing a lot. I kept getting lost. They gave us a map, and they were like, follow the map because you couldn't get lost. So I was trying to follow the map, but even when the investigator and I were trying to find a way, we would hear and see shadow play and hear rocks falling and hear what sounds like voices.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of my dream places to go. Definitely down there, catacombs, just to experience it, and definitely now to get the green vision.
Yeah, and I'm a little claustrophobic.
I'm the same. I'm the same. So I think it'd be like a challenge to get down there. But
yeah,
where's the scariest place you've been? One that's really unnerved you?
I want to say we went to. Oh God. Wow, I can't even remember this place now.
It's too many places.
Too many places, but it was an underground fort, and it was over in Europe, and it was, gosh, I can't remember the name of the place. But anyways, they had earthquakes, and they're like, well, you can go in the tunnel, but you can only go in 20 minutes at a time, and then you must come out. And if you're in there, whisper, don't shout, and don't make sudden movements. We were like, why? They were like, well, we had earthquakes the other day, and it could cause a cave-in. If you get stuck, feel for the roots, and you can suckle water from the roots. We're like, what?
Oh, blimey.
Serbia, that's where it was.
Is that one of them where you think, I tell you what, I'll wait here?
Yeah, he said, wait, they had earthquakes and you'll only go in there for 20 minutes. Should we not go in there at all? They were like, no, just get some footage.
Wow. I don't know if I'd been able to go down there with that.
Yeah.
So this year's Paraforce is what you're looking forward to the most out of it?
I would like to listen to everybody speak. I would like to go and listen to. I didn't get a chance to listen to a lot of the speakers, so I would have liked to have done that.
Yeah. I mean, we're the same. We don't get a chance to listen to it. I think the only one really we got to all stand in on was when yourself and Barry had on the Sunday, the last one. I think that was only because everything was finishing. I think that was the highlight of the weekend.
I think Vivian's highlight was when I played that joke on Barry.
Obviously, this year you've got to see if you can keep hold of your title. That was definitely the look on your face when that was announced was priceless.
It was. I was like, what? Pin up, Barry? Oh, pin up.
Yeah, of all the awards you could get, you've got Paranormal Pin Up. So we've only got about 3 minutes left. So I just want to remind everybody who's listening again, just to refresh your browsers when this show finishes, and then also you can listen to Kerry and a Haunted Histories show, which I'm sure will be fascinating as usual. And don't forget that the competition running to win 2 tickets to investigate Fort Horstead. And we'll say we've got 3 minutes left. So out of everybody you've investigated with, listen, I'll put you on the spot here, Joe. Who wouldn't you go out with again?
Who I wouldn't go out again?
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't go out investigating with Rob Demarest.
Right. That's sort of ties in with a few others that I've spoken to as well.
But yeah.
Would you be able to tell us any reasons behind that, or is that We can't go into that.
It was kind of a personal thing between me and him because he thought that I was Jason's spy. And he would tell everybody that I'm there to spy for Jason and to not talk to me.
You're joking?
No. During the couple investigations, after the investigations, we piled into the van, and he was sitting in the sliding door. So I opened the door, and I said, "Could you move over, please?" And he said, "No." And he slammed the door and made me go on the other side.
So, one person that definitely didn't gel then.
Yeah, he did. There were a couple of female ones that I had some hard times with.
Right. Oh dear, never mind.
Yeah.
So, just a quick shout out. Sorry, I said Haunted Histories with Kerry. That was my bad. I'm very sorry. It's with Penny. I spotted Kerry's name on the chat show, but it's with Penny. We've got Haunted Histories after us, so please refresh your browsers when we've done. It's been absolutely brilliant having you on, Joe. I really enjoyed it, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
That's no problem, and look forward very much to getting together with you again in end of September.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, we've got Kerry. She's there in September, so you better get to meet the voice behind Skype.
I'll see you again, Kerry.
So yeah, on a huge thank you, Joe. I know it's about 3:00 in the afternoon there, and you're a busy guy. So thank you very much for finding the time to come on. It's been brilliant chatting with you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
We're all looking forward to September, which I'm sure is going to be a good laugh again.
A great laugh.
Definitely. Right by the seaside this time as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you get to experience the British seaside town.
I love it.
Just fish and chip shops everywhere and arcades. That's about it.
Ooh, it's even better.
Right. So thank you very much all for listening. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show, and I shall hopefully have you all listening again next week.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Carrie.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.